Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the Figma Max Factory Action Figures Series number 153. We're going to be having a look at the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Link. For those who saw my review of Samus, or Samus, depending on how you want to pronounce it, Spot mentioned in that video that he picked up Link at the same time. Both are absolutely gorgeous pieces, and the moment I had no idea that my local comic book store was actually going to carry these. Sometimes locally I don't get a chance to see some of these pieces, and I usually have to order them online. However, though, when I went to my store, I usually go like once a week. As soon as I noticed that they had Figma, Link, and Samus, I definitely had to pick it up. On the side of the package, some really gorgeous artwork of Link. This is product number 153, and again from the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. On the back of the package, different poses and the alternate face are both shown on the back of the package here. To certainly check out more, you can go to www.goodsmile.jp, maxfactory.jp as well. Again, I am super excited to get this opened up. What I am going to do is take a break, I'm going to get this opened, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at product 153, the Figma Link. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. For your accessories, Link does come with a Figma bag, so that you can keep all your accessories in. A common sight, it seems to be, with all the Figma pieces, they come with this bag. Same also, Samus came with also a bag as well to store the accessories. A nice touch. I'm glad they do it, because Link certainly has a lot of accessories. Other accessories that are included with Link, you get yourself a display stand, also a very common sight to see. Somewhat translucent display stand with an articulated neck. It has a hinge at 3 points, 1, 2, and 3, and then the end section. This whole piece can come off, and you can either have the point bending down on an angle, or this extra piece allows you to have the point up. So depending on how you want to display Link, you can do it with either attachment or either end. So that is definitely a nice touch. Comes with certainly a lot of weapons. Also comes with a tray of multi-purpose hands. You get actually 4 pairs of hands in total with 2 extras on Link. All the hands just unpeg from this tray. As far as I know, Figma also, the Figma pieces are the only ones that I know of that have these trays with the extra hands. I wish more companies could do this, because it's a great way to store extra pieces when you're not using them. When you take one hand out, pegging the other one into this area keeps these all nicely organized and keeps them out of the way, and you don't get them lost. So I like that quite a bit. To change out Link's hands, really easy. You're just going to wiggle the hand. I find it's easier to wiggle it as you're pulling the peg, so you're not going to put any stress on that peg. And then you can take one of the hands, unpeg it from the tray, the little hand holder here, and just wiggle it back in and peg it into place, and you've got the new hand. Other accessories that also are included with Link, you of course get his trusty shield, which looks gorgeous. The coloring, and something I'll talk about when we get to Link, the coloring on the shield and really everything is so clean and so vibrant. It looks gorgeous. On the back of the shield is the strapping, as well as the section that Link will hold the shield in. And you'll also see all these extra holes here as well. What you can do is take the sword, and the sword comes with its own sheath. There's a peg point on the back, and the sword can slide into the holder. You can take Link, spin him around, and there's 2 peg holes on the back of the figure. One peg hole is for the sword, the other peg would be for the display stand. So you just take that, and you can peg that into place, like so. Or, what you can also do, we'll just put Link down for a second, get him to stand. There we go. You know what? Why are we spinning them around? There we go. You can take the sword and the shield, and you're going to take this piece off, just like so. You're going to take this off, and you'll see all these extra holes. What you can do is take the sword and peg it in, not so much even peg it into place, but just kind of put it in place. Bring back this holder, and you're going to peg this into, instead of these holes on the side, you're going to peg them on the, let me show you, this hole here and this hole here. And that will keep the sword in bay, just like so. This unpegs very easily, but just peg that into place like so. Then what you can do is take the sword and peg the sword back into place here. And you've got the sword and the shield on the back of Link, just like that. I mean, storing this definitely makes things a lot easier. And again, I don't know why a lot of companies haven't approached the idea of, like, especially with the shield, the idea that you can take these pieces off and change them around. And you just wiggle this off. You have to be a little careful with this piece just because of the small pegs, and take the sword back off. But you can take the sword and also put it on Link via on his arm. For that, I'm just going to actually change Link's hand out so he has more of the holding hand. You're going to take the end of the shield and you're just going to wiggle one of these pieces out. Take the shield handle, slide it through his hand. Takes a little bit of adjusting. Slide it through his hand until you see the end hole there. Take the other end of the shield handle and just connect the two pieces together. His legs might get in the way, that's alright, we just move the legs a little bit out of the way. And take the handle here. And with it connected, you're just going to take the handle and peg it into the side. This is the part that might be the most fidgety, it's just the shield section that he holds on to. You're going to peg that into the shield, just like so. And you can take the strap and do the same thing. You're going to take the strap, peg it into the shield, and you get something that looks like this. Again, it takes a little bit of adjusting to get it all in there, but the end result is Link holding his shield in a proper way as well. It's not just simply you're pegging it into his arm, and that is a really nice touch. His sword works very much in the same vein. The very end of the sword, you're going to take this off, find the appropriate hand, and slide the end of the sword through his hand and peg this back into place. And taking that, and you can peg this into Link's, put the hand into the socket, and you've got Link both with his shield and now with his sword. Both, again, a little bit of finessing to get them all into place, but the end result is a gorgeous looking piece. So really, you could have it without this. You could have the sword in the sheath if you want. If not, you can just kind of leave it to the side as well. But certainly, it doesn't end there with additional accessories. Also includes a swooshing energy effect for his sword. To accomplish this, you're going to take the sword. I'm trying to do this with the sword still in his hand. And you're just going to slide this down. Doesn't really take very much at all to slide this into place. And you've got Link with the swooshing, just extra like attack on the sword itself. Certainly more dynamic. It also adds a little more weight to the sword, but it's not too bad actually at all. But the last bit of the accessories that come with Link, he does come also with this alternate face. He also does come with alternate hair too. The hair isn't too much different, it's just a blowing version of the hair, as you can see here. But the face definitely is very different than the normal Link face. To remove it, you're just going to take the hair off first. Then you're going to take the face and just pop it right off. Taking the alternate face, you'll see that there is a groove on the back, a little slot there. That just pegs into the peg, this rectangular peg that's in the head section of Link. Pegging it into place, just like so. And then depending on how you want to have him displayed, let's use the blowing hair here. Blowing hair. And I'm just going to peg this into place. The one thing that I like is that the hair keeps everything together. So once you get this pegged into place, it overlaps the existing face, and the face isn't going to go anywhere. And then you have something that looks like this. Ideal for dynamic poses of Link. This is something that if you're going to have Link, especially with the sword, this is a great way. This is the perfect face to have for dynamic poses. I'm still somewhat a preference to just a regular normal looking face on Link, but I like the fact that you can have the alternate face, and I like that it's really easy to change out. It's not something where you have to start taking apart the back of the head or anything like that. You just pop the hair off, pop the face off, and then just put the two back on together. As with Samus, the articulation is definitely where Link excels in. I mean, it's a beautiful looking piece to start off with. The paint is phenomenal, but the articulation definitely has Link reaching like top marks in my books. He does have a ball jointed head. It rotates back and forth, up and down, despite the fact he's got the elf hair, which I might add, the elf hat, his hair, his hat can rotate as well. Only, again, adding to him in a dynamic, even leaping pose, maybe with a sword in his hand. So I like that a lot. But his head does rotate up, kind of pivots back and forth as well, and up and down. When you start getting to his shoulders are on hinge and socket joints. So the arms move out, forward, back. He has a bend at the elbow, somewhat of a rotation in the hand. I guess the rotation in the hand relies more solely at the top of the bicep to rotate the hand. And then he's got a lot of movement in the hands themselves. The bend at the hand, the rotation, hinge. He does have a ball joint. I thought the ball joint was going to be right here, or actually I didn't even think there was going to be a ball joint when I first got him in package, but the ball joint is actually right underneath the straps. This, I would say, not counting the elbows. The elbows, I think, is the only point where you really see articulation. Everything else on Link is concealed. So when it comes again to the ball joint, he's got the ball joint in the upper torso. And then he's got it doesn't seem like no articulation in the waist. And then his legs go forward, back, out, a swivel in the thigh, a bend at the knee, but you look at it and you don't think that there's going to be a bend at the knee. It's actually right underneath the section of his pants. Very nicely concealed. You don't see it at all. He does have a rotation also in the leg, the lower leg, I guess, and a hinge rotation in the foot, and also a bend at the toe for good measure. There's the undersides of Link's shoes as well. So really, articulation is phenomenal on this piece. The sculpt is beautiful, but to get an articulated version of Link as well on top of that is just the icing on the cake. I was blown away by Samus, not thinking it was going to get any bit better, but I gotta say, Link raised the bar for me. He turned out perfectly, again, with the paint that they've applied to the figure. The concealment of the joints really has impressed me more than anything else. It's, for me, a definitive Link to add to your collection. The accessories are good. I like the sword. The shield, again, can be a little tricky to get the back of the shield on him, but overall, though, I am extremely happy that I was able to pick him up. If you are a Link fan, certainly a Nintendo fan, and you've had a chance already to get the Figma Samus, go, if you can find Link, definitely grab him. I mean, he's well worth it in every way possible. Link, I'm going to give him a 9.5. Today's toy spot, or today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the new Figma Link from Skyward Sword. Stay tuned, guys. The spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.